Hey there, I'm Whitney Schmidt. Welcome to Business Signs and Blessings, a heartfelt conversation where I dive deep into the spiritual and practical sides of business success. Sometimes I chat with my friend Cari about business, social media, a founder's life, and all the things that go into making it work. It's crazy that this is actually happening because I feel like it should have always happened, and a lot of times our conversations are so fun and interesting. And it just feels like natural,
Yes.
you know?
We need like a video camera rolling at all times when we're talking.
It makes it easier. I think now that we're alone, it's, there are still nerves because I think being put on the spot,
Mm-hmm.
knowing you're being filmed, no, sorry.
And typically I'm in a t-shirt and
Right.
like Vans, and now I got fancy for you, which I do
Right.
for dinners sometimes.
Yes, no, you do. And I respect the cozy look. And I feel like casual is perfect. And working for yourself, that's
You
a
can
big
do that.
perk.
This
Yes.
is true.
That's what.
Speaking of working for yourself.
Oh, nice transition.
You've been doing that 10 years now, right?
Yes, it's been 10 years since I decided to leave corporate. So I quit
Big decision.
with a bang.
What made you want to walk out of that?
Oh gosh, I think what made me want to leave there was like this pivotal moment, but it's so funny. I actually shared this on social. One of like my first reels that I created, and my old manager commented and he was like, "This didn't happen." And so, yeah.
Did you block him?
Wait, no, because I know him. Like he like played
thought he
basketball
didn't
with
follow you.
with like my husband and like
Eek.
yeah. So obviously I need to make sure that he doesn't see this.
Yeah. Sorry.
Sorry, not sorry.
No.
But no, it did happen. So
You're living your truth. So,
right,
you know
I'm living
what?
my freaking truth.
You gotta talk about the path and how you got here, and if that was
Yeah.
part of it, that's
And this
part of the
guy
story.
wasn't there when this other manager did what he did, which is, it's not about him. Like, I'm super grateful that it happened like this because obviously, like, it led me to leave and pursue my own dreams or visions. And I mean, ultimately, I did that because I wanted to really work for the client. As you know, like, first of all, sales in general, no matter what you're selling, if it's a product or a service, like, there are agendas, and there's nothing wrong with having an agenda because obviously, like, that's how you keep a sales team and how you support the endeavor with revenue. And I get all that, but like, the big reason I left is because I just kind of lost that fire for the belief of
You lost that love and feeling.
yeah, I lost that loving feeling. So yeah, I was. So what happened? So let me
You realized your potential, right? Circle back on that.
Okay. So sharing on social, you're going to talk about things and it's your story and you obviously want it to be true. It needs to be truthful.
Yes.
And that's really important. I mean, at least to me, like I would never want to tell a story that isn't authentic and true to me. So, yeah, I had been in corporate for like 8 years and I loved it and I got my start there and I learned so much. I had so many great mentors. One of my first managers, he basically like held my hand and went on like business calls. What I did was I worked at a television station and we sold advertising in the New Orleans market. So you have 14 parishes and 2 counties in our market. And so it's a big footprint. And so a lot of businesses, they have one location and they're in one area of that market. And so there was a lot of overbuying, but there's so much power in TV and broadcast. Like, it's still like one of the most powerful ways to put your message in front of an audience and get a return. There are tricks and like, strategies, and there's a methodology to like reach and frequency and messaging and all of that stuff. But like, it's really powerful. So that was my first like step into advertising. I started selling broadcast television. I had a manager who really like held my hand and I just basically modeled. He was a model for me. And I basically like just followed in his footsteps and like learned from him. And I felt like I was this like, I don't want to say that, but I just felt like I was totally supported. So he was great. I was at that TV station for like 4 years. I switched to a TV station with higher ratings because usually, like, if you're successful in the business, like, another station is going to want to try to bring you over because you have a client list, you have relationships, and like it's just like this, they call it like this revolving incestual door to like, you just hop, radio stations, TV stations. This is back in 2008. And so I went to a larger station with bigger ratings in the market. And, it wasn't, my first experience was like so nurturing and awesome. And I loved it. And then my second experience was like, we don't care about you. Like, you really are just
a number,
a tool, a number.
Yeah.
And that's, look, it was management and it's people, and like, no judgment to their journeys in the industry. Cause it's really like, you have to have thick skin, and like the hours are long, and it's
corporate.
Yeah. It's corporate. Like, and I respect it for what it is, and no fault to anyone else, but like, they started sending products down. This is when the internet was obviously like not new, but social media wasn't what it is
2008,
today.
You said, right?
Yeah. In 2008 plus like my 8 years, like over from 2008 to 2000, let's see, 4. I mean, 2014, that's what, 6 years. So 2016. Yeah. Because I had my daughter in 2013 and then I left in 2014. So I can't do math. So in 2014, I left, but I was at this, corporate company, and had all these relationships with these clients. They were like local people. I knew them. I became like really close to them, and I loved helping them. And I saw, as I learned more about the industry and I saw like what it took to be successful in marketing, from working with a client who has it like all together and all of their bases are covered, their creative is on point, their messaging is good, they're consistent, they have a good budget, they're running their operation really in a refined way. Like, it's all good. And you're just a part of that, process, and you're a part of that success as a television salesperson. And I saw like the clients, the business owners who really, they had a lot of potential, but there were missing key elements. And working for this corporate company, I couldn't help them with certain key elements. And so I just saw like,
your hands were tied, basically.
Yeah. You just don't have the resources. And, back then, like 10 years ago, there weren't like all these freelancers running around being like, oh, I'll create you a website, or, I'll help you with your tone and your messaging, and we'll look at your budget together, your overall budget. So I kind of started doing that. I started asking clients for their overall budget and like looking at their media mix
and seeing what they actually need. And
not
this blanket approach. Like, what are your actual needs? Where can I really help you out?
Well, yeah. Like, what's going to benefit you as a business owner and like help you to get the most out of your money you're spending?
Yes.
And so I started looking at overall budgets. I started having bigger conversations, and we were getting all these digital products coming down from corporate, from like a different market. Like, a lot of times they were out of New York, or they were in markets that were more advanced, and like, we're supposed to make this work in our market, and it just didn't work. And you had budgets. And I remember like our digital budget started out at like $500 a month. Like, that's so low.
Yeah.
Like, that's what year it was.
Get done with that?
Well, even so, like, that's,
so it's increased so much since then.
My God, $500 a month, like, won't even
drop in the bucket.
Drop today, a drop in the bucket. But our digital budget, we started getting these products and services that we needed to sell, and I just didn't see how things fit together for my clients. And so that was really what pushed me out. It was like, okay, I know that I see more, and I can't unknow what's missing. And so instead of worrying about like this corporation's budgets and agendas, I really want to work for the client, because I worked with agencies. And so, long story short, because that was a really long way to say that, as a sales rep, I worked with agencies and I worked with local business owners. So you have direct clients and you have agency clients. And I saw the agency side, and I said, oh, wow, okay, I can do this. So I just kind of left that situation. I put in my my 2 weeks, and I was like,
The
okay.
rest is history.
Yeah. I mean, the rest is history. And
you've been doing it 10 years now.
10 years. Yeah.
Congrats. First
Thanks.
off, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I can't believe that because I've been in business 10 years with mine.
Right. So that, I was about to say that. I'm like, well, congrats to you.
I didn't realize that we were both like went off on our own journeys 10 years ago.
That's crazy.
Cheers.
Cheers to
That's
that.
exciting.
Yes. Should we crack open a juicer?
I know. Are we ready? As longer we wait, the longer it's going to get warm.
Let's do it.
All right. Okay. Let's do it. I'm always down.
And then you can tell us an elevator story of
Switching
your
coffee
let's switch.
to beer. All
let's
right.
go. Oh wait, yeah, I can sneak out of my mic. Cheers. Okay.
Right.
Cheers to a decade of doing our own thing.
That's so cool, Whitney. No, really.
It is.
I kind of want to cry. Like I'm not.
I knew you were gonna
Did
cry.
we bring tissue?
Wait, I knew you were gonna cry.
I'm an emotional person. You
I
know
love
this
you
about
for
me.
it. And I laugh when people fall and stuff, so it's not okay. I'm the opposite.
This is why we balance each other.
Yes.
And having known each other for 10 more years,
Right.
on top of the 10 years that we've been doing our own thing, we've gotten to know each other pretty dang good. So
cheers to
10 years.
To 10 years.
Yeah, I love it. Still cold enough.
Cheers to 10 years and tears.
Oh, my goodness. I love you.
I love you too.
So elevator pitch, huh?
Yes, please.
Okay, so my husband Zach and I started Gnarly Barley in 2014 after home brewing for a few years in the garage at home. And I went to school for marketing and fashion merchandising. And I thought, okay, he's obsessed with brewing beer and it's really good and people want to drink this beer. So if he loves it and I have these talents that I can put towards the business, let's freaking do it. And we never looked back, and it's been running like crazy and thankfully going well ever since. And we live in Hammond, the operations in Hammond, but we distribute all through Louisiana and the Gulf Coast in Mississippi and a little northern part of Mississippi as well. And Jucifer that we're drinking here is our hazy IPA that I guess you could say put us on the map because
it did put y'all on the map. That's right.
Yeah, because in the beginning it was just draft, and then we went to canning, and then we had Jucifer, and it really, I mean, it kind of, it put us on the map. What else can I say? I mean, it's a very drinkable, juicy, hazy IPA. So you hear a lot of people say, I'm not really a beer drinker, or I'm not really an IPA drinker, but this I can drink. It's like the mimosa of beer.
I can back that up because that's me. Like I'll drink a Jucifer, but I'm like not a beer person.
Yeah.
Right. So,
which look, I wasn't really a beer person when I met Zach, and he opened my eyes.
So was he always a beer person?
He was like he was the type that would.
And he doesn't have a beer belly, which is crazy.
I know. Go him.
I know.
I don't know how,
but he did have a beer belly
great.
at one point. He's been back and forth. Sorry, Zach.
Cut this. No.
Cut.
No. Actually, he was just telling me this morning.
He's healthy now, though. It's okay.
Oh yeah, we can talk about the past. Yeah, he had some ups and downs throughout owning a beer, business. Which I mean, hey, it's readily available. Why not? Right. But like, he was just telling me this morning that I think he said it's been like a 30-pound journey, and he's like going back
Holy
to like
moly.
the lighter side of Zach. So, I mean,
that's beautiful.
Yeah. I think he recently lost like 15 pounds or maybe more. I know.
Right.
Go him. But yeah, either way, I mean, it's been a fun 10-year ride. And originally when I met Zach, I was like, oh my God, beer, ew. Because all I knew was just like.
Cut. Cari says ew to beer.
Yeah, please cut that. When I thought about beer in the beginning, I was in college, so I didn't have a ton of experience with beer. I just knew
you were just taking shots. I was just joking.
Basically.
I mean, I was, unfortunately.
Right. Exactly. Or whatever free stuff someone bought you,
Oh wait, we were Jaeger girls.
Oh my God, I forgot about that era of our life. We were Jaeger girls. That was
That's
fun.
fucked up. I just remembered that. I'm sorry.
No, that's great. I think it's hilarious. I love it.
Wait, I flew to New York and I was in their video.
I know.
Which is so weird.
You need to clip that in on this.
Their training video.
So
right?
funny.
Okay, scroll to training video.
Yeah. We have some pics together too. We could possibly put in here. But all I knew was the fizzy yellow stuff. Didn't know anything about craft beer. And I remember Zach took me to Red, White, and Brew, which is still there in Hammond. had me try a beer.
Oh,
It was called
wow.
Banana Bread Beer by Wells. And I was
Oh.
like,
He's
hold
trying
on
to
a
impress
minute.
you,
Well, yeah, probably. But
clearly.
also, I love banana bread. And I was thoroughly like caught off guard. Like, this really does taste like banana bread. Like, you're kidding me. I had no idea. I just thought beer all tasted the same.
Mhm.
So my mind was blown and I was instantly hooked. And then he let me try another beer, which was Hitachino Nest. It was a Japanese Hefeweizen, I believe. And it was delicious too. And I'm like, oh my God, this is crazy. And
Wait,
then
can
when
you say
he
that word again?
Hefeweizen.
Okay, Hefeweizen.
Yeah, it's a
Got it.
German
Okay, that's cool.
beer. And it's got cloves and banana. It's really good.
Mm.
So
So how many years is this like sexy introduction that Zach makes to obviously
I think when Zach and I started dating, I was like
get you to like beer?
21.
That was his.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
he's
I
like,
mean,
please join my world. Which who knew it
I
was gonna
know.
be this whole like
So
thing?
insane.
Oh, fate.
It's
I
so
can't.
crazy.
I mean, I
I
can.
want to
but
say
it's just
he
crazy.
must have been 23 and I must have been 21 when
Oh
we
wow.
started dating. Yeah. So I mean, didn't have a whole lot of experience with
Right.
alcohol, but um he opened my eyes to craft beer. I started to enjoy it, love it. Originally, I just loved the porters, like the darker stuff, coffee, chocolate notes, those type of
Right.
things. And then now I'm loving the hoppy stuff. Like that's all I want to drink
Is that
now.
like
It's
an
like my taste
acquired
buds.
taste for some
For
people?
me, it was. My
Yeah.
taste buds definitely evolved throughout the past, 15 years of this journey.
But that's
And
taste buds
so
in general. It's like
I
every
think
7
so.
years, I think they
Yeah.
say like try the thing you don't like because
Yes.
your
They're
taste
always
buds change.
evolving.
Yeah, you
Mhm.
have to fact check that, but I think
Yep.
it's 7 years.
Yep. And then at some point, I remember we wanted some help from you and your
Mhm.
agency, your personal agency, and it was like, Whitney, can you help us with this? I mean, yeah, I might
This
be.
is before the P word. The pandemic.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, what P word are we talking about?
Well, I just know like because I've worked with you that
Mhm.
like you guys like did a big campaign before and then life changed drastically and so
Yes.
like y'all kind of pulled back and yeah, like
I
just
think it would be worth a revisit for sure. But I'll tell you this. I mean, even though I handle the marketing at the brewery, I'm an owner, which comes with a lot of other hats. So I don't have the time and energy to research and figure out how to make a good campaign happen. And you came in and really talked me through that and helped us out. And we had some really amazing billboards in New Orleans with Jucifer, with this guy.
yeah, well
On-
y'all had like I mean y'all had all the pieces to like make this campaign a huge success, so it was really easy to work with y'all. So
That's good to
not
hear.
only because I know you and like you, but because it's always better to work with clients you truly like. I
Yeah.
mean, that's a big part of me like creating my personal brand because I'm like,
Mhm.
wait, I don't have to work with everyone. Like I can
Right.
work with people I like and like that like
Yeah.
me
If it's a
and
good
we're
fit,
aligned. Yeah, it's a
sure.
good fit.
Yeah.
So yeah, y'all had like all the right pieces to making it success. And okay, so what you just said, like your story is amazing. I want to talk about the accolades. I want to talk about your journey and like we're going to do that for sure. Like that is
We don't even need to though.
no,
Whitney.
but that you're going to be on this is a whole series and it's about founders.
Okay.
And it's about marketing and advertising and business development and the signs and the synchronicities and all the things that come into creating something that doesn't exist, right? Because creation is like,
You're really good at noticing those things and
oh,
like
I can't
working.
unnotice them.
I love it. I love it. You help me to see the light all the time. It's
Well,
great.
I think some people are like just really tapped into like what's in front of them and they're in the 3D world. And like
Mhm.
I live in my head and in the clouds a lot. And it
This
just
is why we're friends. I
right,
need that
the yin
balance.
and the yang.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. It's crazy. Right. Well, what do you know? Kudos to us for being friends.
Yes. 20
Let's
years
drink
of
to that.
friendship.
20 years of friendship.
Yeah.
Stop.
Right?
Yes.
Back at oh gosh, do we speak its name of the bar? I think I met
What
you
bar
at
is that?
Extras.
Oh, God.
I think that's the first time I met you was outside of Extras when we
I don't
shouldn't have
remember
been there.
if it was at Andrea's house.
Nope, because I had never
In her room. We did meet because y'all had just gone shopping. But I don't know if that was
In Covington?
before in Covington at her grandma's house. I don't know if that
I'm
was
forgetting
before
that whole
or
thing.
if that was after Extras.
I
But
don't
it
either.
doesn't matter.
Because I was like 16, so you must have been 16.
I was 16 because we're 4 months apart or 3 months apart in age.
Hopefully no one's doing the math on our age right now.
No. No.
But no, yeah, that's so young to meet someone who's in your life. I don't want to cry again.
Oh
dang
God,
it.
it's happening. Okay, let me fluff my hair.
I know, right?
Waterworks. This is good. No.
It's, it's really young to meet someone and that they can still be in your life this
Right.
far.
That's why my son
much.
thought we were sisters.
Oh, I love that. I know. He's so sweet.
It's so funny.
Oh, yeah. 2 businesses and 4 kids later, and here we are, still hanging out, still wanting to be in each other's company, and that means a lot to me. It really does.
Means a lot to me too. I mean, the fact that you're here and it's so like really effortless, makes a lot of sense. And I think that having like the experiences that we've had, sharing that in general with other business owners, I mean, women, first of all,
Yeah.
I mean, this is all going to come back. It's going to circle back to, creating a personal brand and really representing yourself for what you do. And like for you, you have a product and it's a product that your husband and your best friend, he is the chef of the beer. What's it called? A brew master or something?
Yes. He's not officially trained as a brewmaster.
Oh, he's trained.
But I mean, yeah, he trained himself.
I'll
University of
officially say
Google,
it.
like he
Yes,
says.
exactly. Right.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you're passionate about something and you
Yeah.
go for it, it doesn't really, I guess, truly matter if you're
Yeah.
trained or not. But just having that connection and knowing that it's your right, like you're in the right spot.
Yeah. And getting
is
those
huge.
like signs or
Mhm.
messages or feelings or intuition or gut,
Yes.
whatever you want to call it, getting, that reinforcement, I think along the way, like having a vision or having a dream and like not knowing how it's going to happen, but having faith that like, I'm going to do this.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I mean, seems
Yeah.
like,
I mean, because look, so Zach and I met at Southeastern. You and I met, obviously, we just said 16, but then we reconnected at Southeastern.
right?
I thought I always said, I'm a business owner without a business. Like, I don't know why. I would drive around and be like, I need to do this. And I would have like a list and notes and all these things. And I was very like tenacious and didn't want to give up and had to like follow, like see it through. And I was like, it's like I have a business, but I don't. What is wrong with me? And then like fast forward to, now, and it's like, oh my gosh, it's like I really put that out there. And when I met Zach and he was brewing beer, I was like, this is perfect. I can help you with marketing. I can help you with the merchandising. I can help you with just running the business,
Right.
And, but yeah, at Southeastern, we didn't know. I mean, I didn't know that was going to happen. He graduated in general studies,
Which just shows that like he was meant to do something he had no idea that he was going to
Yeah.
do.
And I even remember a conversation he and I had because he was creative. He was a skateboarder, and I was always enjoyed being artistic and crafting and everything. And so I remember putting like, hey Zach, can you make me the skateboard jewelry? I'm gonna sell it on Etsy.
Oh my God,
like
I remember that.
there was a whole point when I was like, we're gonna do this. And it came out great. But I told him, I remember I said, Zach, we're meant to do something more together. And this was before the brewery.
Dude, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't tell you that.
No.
Yeah.
As much as we've talked,
I
like,
know, I
it's
can't
like you don't
believe-
know everything.
Right. Because you just can't. But like, that's an important thing. I mean, I remember being like, we are meant to do something together that's bigger than ourselves. It's bigger than this. Like, I don't know what it is. And then it happened, a few years later, obviously. But like, it's just crazy that can happen that way. And even with you and I, like meeting each other at 16 and then reconnecting when we were at Southeastern together when we were, I don't know, were we 20?
We were
21?
21
Okay.
for sure.
So
Yes.
I was probably dating Zach at the time.
Yes.
And we had
Mhm.
connections and
We did. We had so many connections. And we have to tell those stories eventually. For sure. Well, and
Whenever
that's why
you're-
you'll have to tune back in
Yeah, there you
to
go.
our lovely conversation because there are a lot of synchronicities and it's really freaking weird.
It is.
And it's just so 360.
Well, yeah, we're totally meant to be sitting here today.
Yes.
That's what's
Oh
amazing
my God.
about it.
I'm going to cry. No, I'm not going to cry.
I'll cry enough for both of us.
Okay, but I do. Okay, so I want to point this out.
Yes.
So I worked with you and Zach, and we developed this billboard campaign, and it was a huge success. It was during the Mardi Gras season. Like, y'all had your graphic artist, who is your sister.
was amazing.
Props to
Yes,
Casey because
yes.
Casey's awesome. The perfect storm for like an outdoor campaign. So we do this. It's awesome. But like, here's my thing: is that you have a background in marketing and you're one of the most creative people that I know. And you're saying out loud, like, you don't understand this industry because you're not in it.
And you can't do it all. You
No, well,
cannot
that's
do it all.
side note.
Right,
You can't
right.
do it all.
You can't. I mean, I know a lot of people have figured that out by now.
Takes a village,
but,
right?
Yeah. But that is why it's helpful to have somebody who really knows step in and say, let me drive this ship for you, you know?
Yeah. It's like, what does your market have to offer that you can take advantage of? And like, how do you step into that? Like, what strings do you pull? Like, how much should you pay? How long should the campaign run? What's going to be efficient? Like, there is such an art and a science to placing campaigns and creating campaigns. And it's not rocket science by any means. And like, I'm no surgeon. Like, thank God those people exist, because like when I see the drop of a drop of blood, like I'm ready to call it a day.
Right.
Ready to call it a day. I'm going to need 48 hours of rest after this.
No, not just a nap, 48 hours.
No, not a nap. I need 48 hours. Yeah. Call me next week. So, yeah, I mean, it's not rocket science, but it's something that like having someone who has experienced the market and understands other campaigns and has seen a lot of variety is going to be able to step in and say, okay, here's what you're working with. No, you don't have to spend X amount of dollars, but like if you want to have a billboard campaign and you want to be effective, or you want to have a TV or radio, or now do you want to go all digital? Are you going to be targeting? Like, do you want to use social media? Do you not want to use social media? Who are you servicing? Do you want to, have your ads targeted? What's your return on investment? How much money can you spend? Like that's
so many things that I wouldn't think about.
Right.
That's why.
And I can't unthink
it's great for you to step in and help somebody like me who's like, that's just not how I roll. Like I'm thinking in black and white and you're thinking in 3 dimension, like you said. It's
and it takes both. Like, and that's, let's just say, and I want to point this out. It is a collaborative relationship. Yes. The better the input, the better the output.
Yeah.
100%. And like, let's put to the side social media management and like content, because that's a whole nother ball game. And advertising is really easy from someone in the industry compared to social media and personal branding, and even like business branding using social media, because it's so constant. And again, let's put that old beast to the side because that's the second part of the conversation and the journey. But yeah, so you have this background, and you have a team. Like, you have somebody helping you with social media now. You had someone help you with your ad campaign strategy, and you guys have done a really good job. Your distribution is awesome. Your distributor, make sure that you're in front of your target clients, and like we have
a wonderful staff.
Right.
Wonderful.
You have support for sure. Definitely.
Yes.
And you aren't advertising, and that's okay. Like, not everybody is going to pay to advertise. Like, there are some free ways that you can stay in front of people. And one way you do it is through social media. And that's the whole point. It's free. It's free now. Dun, dun, dun.
Right. Might not be forever.
It's free for now.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's true. But I mean, it's always changing and evolving. And whether it's going to be something that we have to pay for or not, even still, algorithms change. Like everything about it is changing and ever evolving. So to have someone else come and look from like a bird's eye view.
Yeah.
And say, hold on, I'm looking at, because when you're in it, you're in it. You don't always look and from the outside in, and you need like another set of eyes to say, you really need the X, Y, and Z, or have you thought about X, Y, and Z?
Right.
And I think that's what's great about you is that you kind of look at that from a bigger perspective.
Yeah.
And you can say, okay, I see what you're doing great here. You got this right. And maybe we focus on this or we tweak this. And that's really helpful, because when you're in it, you're in it. You just can't, like me. I'm like, we're working through it day by day. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of hats to wear. So to have somebody else come in, it just takes the weight off of you to say, okay, I'm seeing the big picture here. This is where I feel like, you could succeed. Let me help you in getting there.
Yeah.
And have that partnership. you know?
Yeah, definitely. And also, like, here's a big problem that business owners have. And I see it with my husband who owns a business. He's also a contractor. And so, just from like a very personal perspective, and also, and I'm talking about a business that's not a consulting business. Like, my business is different, it operates and functions completely different than a brick and mortar. And I'm highly aware of that. But, like, for someone like you who has that brick and mortar location, like you or your business, period, like, you are in your business.
Yeah.
That is one of the big, what I'm touching on is like, that's one of the big issues is like business owners can never work on their business because they're working in their business. And
So true.
so that's, another thing is you have someone coming in from the outside, and I can tell you right now, like, I'm not afraid to say anything to someone as long as it's like true and it's going to help them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when I first started working with clients, like, yeah, my delivery was a lot different just because I didn't have as much experience. But now when I'm working with someone, I am asking the hard questions. And, if they don't want to answer some of the questions, then that's, on them. And I'm going to dig as far as they'll let me dig. And I'm going to audit where they've been and talk to them about where they want to go. And they're going to share certain things. And like, I'm not afraid to have those conversations. And I'm also not afraid to tell them what the potential is. And it's all based upon like, where do your target clients live?
Yeah.
Where are they? Who are they?
Mm-hmm.
What's that look like? Like, we're reaching a specific type of person.
Mm-hmm.
And so like drilling in on that, like, who has time to think about that?
I know I don't. I definitely don't.
Right.
Yeah. No, that's very helpful. So, Whitney, tell me a little bit about your journey and where you grew up. Give me a little background story of how you came to be.
Yeah. Okay. I know you're from like the big city of
Destrehan.
Oh, wait, Destrehan.
And then Covington. Yeah,
yeah,
real big.
But your influences were definitely Covington, right?
Yeah, I guess
you were like growing up there.
Yeah.
But you are from
Destrehan, and then in 4th grade, I think it was that I moved to Covington. So then Covington to Hammond. So
yeah,
make a little loop-de-loop.
Triangle.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if it's a triangle, but
circle, semicircle, a C for my name.
A C for your name, exactly.
And you made kind of a little. You went down to Hammond from Independence.
Is it down?
Yeah, and Independence is north of Hammond, right?
You're better with direction than me.
Independence to Hammond
Noted.
to New Orleans. You made an L.
Oh, a straight line.
Kind of, yeah.
Oh,
Think about it.
line.
I mean, you made like a big L. No,
Big
you made
L.
a backwards L. Think about it. Independence, Hammond, New Orleans. Independence, Hammond, New Orleans.
Well, we also lived 3 places, both of us. Yeah, but I lived in Mandeville.
You
for a minute.
made a greater than sign, kind of, if you think about it. Anyway,
Okay.
random.
It's all right. It's all right. Yeah.
So it's all started for you. You were born in Independence?
So no, I was born in Hammond because that's obviously where the hospital was. I grew up in a very small rural town of a population of 600. Whenever I grew up, it was around 600 people. I'm sure it's bigger now, but there's one stoplight, and there is a pit stop now.
Nice.
There's that. Yes. And I think they have a Subway, so they're on the map, but there's no Starbucks.
Got it. So it's still
Which-
itty bitty.
I support that. Yes, it's itty bitty, and that's where I grew up, and I always had this desire to broaden my horizon, and not from a place of like judgment, but more from a place of like opportunity. And staying local to go to college, which ended up being the right decision for me. Going to Southeastern, just like you did. Just staying local for college, feeling like really I had never lived anywhere else. And so, as fate would have it, I worked an event. I want to say it's for Jaeger.
Okay.
So I worked an event for Jaeger at the zoo in New Orleans, and I met someone who gave me a business card to someone who worked at a television station because I had a marketing degree, and clearly I could work with people, and I was conversational. So this person gave me a card, and I called the manager up, and I interviewed with them, and that was my first that was my first introduction to New Orleans life. And so I ended up moving there from Hammond. But
So after you graduated from Southeastern, you
mhm.
moved there.
Yes, after I graduated from Southeastern, I actually
What was your
fun
major?
fact, marketing.
Okay.
I didn't have a minor
You don't
for
need
whatever
one.
reason.
I
Yeah.
only had a minor in marketing because I was originally in business classes. Found out I hated it because of accounting because I was like, I am not a
Oh,
math
I know. Who
person.
likes accounting? And it
Yeah.
has nothing to do with business all the
Oh.
way. Like,
So then I said,
it's
I'm
a
out.
part, but like,
Yeah. So then I just switched my major to
just hire
family
an
consumer.
accountant.
That's exactly what we did.
Hello.
Right. So I already had those business courses. So that's why I minored in marketing because of
Right.
that. So
Right. Well, I understand that.
you got through those accounting courses. Good job.
Yeah. I remember crying in the hallway of my professor's office because it was actually not accounting that really truly killed me. It was statistics.
Mm-hmm.
I 1000% felt like they were speaking a different language that I didn't understand.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it was torture. So kids out there, if you don't resonate with a certain, educational interaction, it doesn't mean that you're not going to be successful. Like
Right.
it's just not for you. If no one's ever told you that.
Or hire out, like we just said, hire that accountant.
Hire that accountant.
Yeah.
I
Do
mean,
what you got to do
Yeah.
to see the end goal through,
Right.
but don't let it keep you from following your dreams.
Right.
Because you can obviously just find other people to help you through.
And also, I mean, you can drill down and like do hard things. And although I cried my way through statistics, at the end of the day, I did get a passing grade. I don't remember what it was, but it
You
doesn't
probably
matter.
learned something from it too. So
No, I did not. But that's fine. I'm okay with not
Yeah,
learning anything
yeah.
from it. You know what I learned? Tenacity
Yeah.
and bravery
Yeah.
and courage to face those numbers in that calculator
Yeah.
head on.
There you go.
So anyway, yeah, so I moved to New Orleans and I've been there ever since. And it's a really fun market to work in because it's, so interesting, all the food and entertainment and just nightlife and eclectic people, like, and just the architecture too is like really
The
cool.
culture. Yeah. You
Mhm,
just
the culture is
can't find that
so-
anywhere else.
No, it's like a dense, obvious, obviously noticeable
Mhm.
culture, and it just has such personality. And I mean, you can entertain yourself by just like going to get a coffee,
Yeah.
which I appreciate.
I do too.
So yeah, I moved there and started my corporate job. We already talked about that. So yeah, I mean, it's been
You're happy that you moved out of the little town of 600 people?
yeah, I'm definitely happy. I mean, at this point in my life, which is so full circle, like we were looking for like some land to get off the grid, and I'm obsessed with nature and actually like finding walking meditations, which sounds so intricate. I don't know if it sounds intricate, but it's not. Walking meditations like in nature kind of like opened up my mind and helped heal my nervous system, which is,
It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. And it's
Something so simple as to walking outside and like you do, putting your feet on the grass and just connecting and
yeah, I think
feeling.
Feeling and like taking the fear out of living by understanding that what's real is what's beneath our feet in so many ways and what's around us. We just live in this world that's constantly pushing and pulling us to
consume.
Yes, digest this information.
Right.
We're just so pinged all the time, and it becomes like
Overwhelmed.
overwhelming. And I think that's where nature and walking and grounding and grounding, just walking in the grass, that's really all that means. All of that really helped drop me into just a place of peace and solitude, really. I mean, for the past probably like, I don't know, 6 or 7 years, I've really made it intentional to bring myself into the present moment and stay awake to what is. And obviously I get lost just like any other human does because we're humans. But having that like understanding that like it's all okay and we're here for a certain amount of time and like this is the real part of living and you don't have to be anything. You just have to, be aware and be yourself. And really that's good enough.
Amen to that.
Amen. I don't sing, but I know you don't either.
I don't either, but
but you will.
In the shower, exactly. I don't care if it's, it's for my enjoyment.
Exactly.
I'll karaoke, even though I shouldn't.
Well, you should because your name's in it. So
That's
it
true.
makes sense.
And it is fun. So, if it doesn't bother me, whatever, just have fun.
Yes. And I love that for you. Like,
thank you.
You're brave. You're a brave karaokeer.
Give me a few juicies.
Yeah. Juicy, get loosey.
There we
karaoke. Yeah. You brought about the summer of peaches in my house because we're obsessed with peaches. And then after that night, we went out in downtown Covington and you had to have the DJ play Peaches.
Yeah.
The Peaches song.
That's right.
Peaches come from a can.
Yes.
And you can ask, you can start that verse off and my kids will finish it.
I love it.
They know it. They love it. We love Peaches. Okay. Shout out to Peaches.
Peaches. Do you know that one? I love you. You know that one?
Yes. I'm laughing because I love it.
It's a good one.
It's
okay.
Great. Yes,
Many Peaches songs.
Oh gosh. So like, why am I here? I think maybe I moved to New Orleans. I created this 7-figure, which sounds crazy, but this 7-figure business, this consulting business that started out as like this boutique ad agency that kind of morphed into a marketing consulting agency. And, I built up this success as far as like monetarily. And I just realized like, I want to grow with the industry and I want to work with more people and help more people because, it's fine to stay comfortable. It's fine to stay comfortable. And I did that for a decade. And then, I woke up and I'm like, okay, I have this feeling that, I don't know, I need to like take some new steps. And I had been an avid listener to this podcast. It was called the Simply Be podcast. And the podcast host, Jessica Zweig, she founded a personal branding agency in Chicago. And she started off in advertising and, created this magazine brand. And she has this whole story and it's really interesting. But I was an avid listener of her podcast. And so this is last year. Actually, it was the end of 2022. She launched this retreat. And it was the first time that she'd ever hosted a retreat. And she launched it on her podcast, The Offering, and said, okay, I'm going to be taking like 17 women on this retreat. And it's part spirituality and it's part business and branding. And I heard that and like in my mind, I just thought like, could I go to this? Like, I was just really interested. Like I had this like nudge, like, And so I remember like being in the bathtub, of course, on my phone, listening to this podcast. And I was like, okay. So I emailed her immediately. I was like, hey, I'm interested. Like, what are the next steps? Because you have to apply. Obviously, she doesn't want some like random person there that doesn't belong there. Right. That's a whole nother thing. Yeah. So yeah, I emailed her and she replied back and she was like, yeah, let's have a conversation. And so I ended up talking to her and I was so apprehensive because, side note, it was a 5-figure investment. And like all these people, coaches, consultants, like in the online space, they talk in like 6-figure or 5-figure or 7-figure or multi-6-figure. Like, it's a way to, I think, help you understand that like it's a big deal. I had never gone anywhere that wasn't like a family vacation or maybe like a girls trip, but like I had never invested the amount of 5 figures in just myself. But because it was, part business, I was like, oh, wait, I work for myself.
Yeah.
Like, I can afford this.
And you should invest in yourself. You really
Mm-hmm.
should. So that was
Right,
a huge moment.
Yeah, and most people don't invest in themselves professionally, except like when they go to college or
Right.
when they get their certification. Like there are fees associated with that, right? But like
It's like continuing education.
it is continuing education, and I had been marketed by all these online universities, and like nothing ever felt right because I just didn't want any more formal training. A lot of what I've done has been based on intuition and a really like innate calling to help people and be of service to people who maybe can't see things that I can. At the end of the day, like that's really all I ever wanted to do was to help people. And so, hearing this mentor or model podcaster who had this personal branding agency offer this, like me responding and like that kind of flipped the script into me saying, okay, I want more. I know there's more. I also want to understand this personal branding space and social media for my clients, for myself. Like if I don't know, like marketing is a blue ocean. There's, it's a technology based industry. So like every time one of the platforms changes or every time a platform is created, like consumption patterns change, people's habits change. With different generations, there's, different adaptabilities to these new platforms. And so I just felt like I was like, oh gosh, okay, wait, I'm almost 40. Like, okay, I've been doing this for 10 years. I need to like invest in myself. And so long story short, she emailed me back, and I remember that night like closing my email out, and I was like, oh shit.
I'm really doing this.
Oh God, am I going to do this?
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I can't make this decision on my own. And like, I didn't want to bring it to my husband because I was like, he's not going to understand maybe. And like, I don't want to ruin my
chances of
my
doing
chances
this.
of doing this, right? So, and he was fully supportive. Like he was like, you do you. But like, I just didn't want to put that on him.
Sure.
That way, whatever happened, it's really my decision. And so I just prayed about it. I was, I asked God, I was like, give me a sign, please, to let me know if I need to do this. And so I always ask for signs. I have a plethora of sign stories, signs that are delivered, and I'm grateful for that. And I just want to say, like, I don't feel like I'm someone that's special. I feel like every human
has that
capability, and like how authentic and raw and real and direct you want to be is your choice and like your own evolution. But ever since I was a kid, I have been praying and seeing just reassurance and safety and life's purpose in just, I guess, dropping in and asking for signs. So I asked for a sign. The next day comes, and I'm going about my business, and I'm like, and she, her podcast, she's like, all right, sisters, you have 24 hours to make, your decision. I'm going to be closing it out. Not that dramatic, but there was an end date. And so that next day, literally the next day, I was out and about, went to a restaurant. I actually looked for this receipt, but I cannot find it, which I'm sure it's in one of my many credit card profiles.
I'm sure.
And I don't know the exact date, but I need to look for it further. So I go to checkout, and the receipt total is $8.88. I'm sure I was at a coffee shop, kind of thinking that was it. So if you know me, if I've ever told you about all my signs and spiritual
I know about the signs
endeavors of my life, I love to talk about it because, it's a way to talk about God and like this other dimension of reality that exists. And clearly most people believe in a higher power, and that's great. And like, I'm all about like spreading that good news, so to speak. So I get this receipt, and I'm like, oh my gosh. Okay. So 8's my magical like number. It's been since I was a kid. And to have a magical number, yes, I do.
I didn't know that was your magical number.
Yeah.
In addition to, okay.
Yeah.
That's
so
cool.
I used to like, if I were taking steps, I would count to 8. Like that was
That's
the
cool.
thing. So oddly enough, when I got this receipt total, I was like, oh shit. Okay. So I need to do it. So I emailed her back and I was like, all right, I'm going to do it. I got the sign. And this was at the end of 2022. And then the retreat was in April of 2023. And so fast track to me, like getting ready for this retreat, I had no freaking idea what I was walking into. I didn't care. I didn't research it. I didn't worry about it. I was just like, I am going into this for what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Is it going to be worth it? I don't fucking know.
YOLO.
And YOLO. Exactly.
Let's do it.
I'm like, let me just take the pressure. There is no pressure. Like, I'm here. I'm supposed to be here. I got the freaking sign. Like, let's go. So I drive to Nashville, and that drive was like probably one of the most memorable experiences of my life so far as like just being in solitude and feeling
it was
like
therapeutic.
Very therapeutic, very awakening, so to speak, into just higher presence of myself and my purpose.
The next chapter of your life was beginning.
Yeah, and it's like kind of midlife of what like we're taught is midlife,
right.
but I don't subscribe to that for the record. But yeah, it was like this moment, and I pulled up, and I mean, I am like nervous, right? Because I am driving to Nashville alone, 7 hours. I have this amazing epic journey. Spring is springing. I mean, it's beautiful. I'm driving through Birmingham, all the hills. Like, I am in heaven. Like, just the drive was probably worth the investment.
Nice.
And so I get to this retreat and I check in. It's some like bougie farm to table elite resort out in Franklin, Tennessee, where if there are fairies, the fairies live there. So, and the fairies live in other countries, but like in this country, like
only
from what I've seen, like the fairies are in Franklin. So I get to this retreat and I'm just ready. I'm ready to just be present. So I go to the welcome dinner, and this I have to tell you. So I go to the welcome dinner, and it's at the top of the mountain at the resort, of course, on a cliff, overlooking. It's at the top of a mountain on a cliff, overlooking this amazing skyscape. And as soon as you walk up, I'm like one of the last people to arrive because I'm always one of the last people to arrive.
Same. At least we got that in common.
Yeah. Cinderella style.
I wasn't late today, but.
No, but well, yeah. You're
It's
the prepper.
fine.
You're the planner. I'm the winger and the roll-inner.
I love it.
Yeah. Yeah, yin and yang.
Yep.
Exactly.
Takes two.
So I pull up to this top of the mountain, beautiful area, and it's like a covered dining area, and there are probably, there are 4 family style large tables, because at this event, I would say that night there ended up being 17 women there as paid to be there, right? And it's for entrepreneurs and business owners and founders, women only. And there's probably a team of 10. So we're talking like 27 to 30 people at this welcome dinner. And I walk up to the welcome dinner. Everybody's standing up chatting, all spread among this like dining area where all these tables are set up. And this beautiful like yoga fairy goddess says, "Come here, love." And like I walk over there, and she takes her Palo Santo, not sage, because sage smells like not good for me.
God awful for you.
Yes, sage is not good for me. But she had Palo Santo, which is like a campfire. Love campfire smell. And she like walks around me, and she's like clearing my energy. They're like, "Okay, you can go and take your seats now." I had no idea where I was sitting. However, I walked directly to my name.
You just knew.
I guess I didn't. I didn't like consciously know.
Yeah.
But I just walked to this table in this spot and it happened to have my name tag there. And I was like, what's happening? Like, where am I? Am I being transported? Like, okay, this is just another sign.
Right.
So anyway, the point is like, I believe in signs, and like, I went to this retreat. I had a lot of things happen there that were like of a higher power, of just like soul purpose driven. You're supposed to be here. Don't worry about it. You'll figure it out. Just be present. Just be present. And so I was like, I didn't stress out. I didn't worry, because what the hell is that going to do anyway?
Yeah.
I'm going to soak it up. I'm going to enjoy it. It was 4 days. I met an amazing amount of like super like-minded women. I saw people on their journey who were way ahead of me, and I saw some that were maybe just starting out. And so there was like a plethora of diverse women there. And so that experience was just really, I think, monumental in my development of myself, my elective personal development, I would say. So that's where it started. And that was 18 months ago. And I would love to say that when I left that retreat, like I started my personal brand, and like I just started like posting and making all this like content and being this marketing like powerhouse, but for myself. But that's not how it went down. There were so many moments of like introspection and realizing things about myself and my journey and like where I had been, and basically like the journey of showing up for myself, which maybe for some is easy, and I love that for them. But for me, it was facing all of the shame that existed inside of my body that I had been just hiding from, and that has been the single most like, that's the single most part of this journey that I think has like pushed me into another level of chapter of my professional career in my life. And, it's been a necessary part, I think, of reaching my own potential, which I don't know that I would have fully been able to express my gifts and own them had I not decided to invest in myself.
Yeah, that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
It takes time too. I mean, it's like stepping stones to get to where you are now. And you went there in this beautiful place, but it's not reality in a way. Whereas once you leave that bubble, you're back to the grind of what you're currently doing with your life, whether it be your husband, your 2 kids, all the extracurriculars and your current business too. So it's hard to make that time for you, which was good that you did that though, because that's the first step,
Yeah. I mean, it really was the first step. And I think making that decision, and I think really realizing that, okay, I have this sense or this intuition that like, this is the right move for me. And I want to know more about personal branding, and I'm always down for spirituality, and anyone who is, preaching about good things and can incorporate God and a higher power in that, like, sign me up. So it was just like the perfect storm for really the start of the perfect storm, which I got caught in this tornado of mirror work and like looking at myself and realizing like, holy shit, like I can't just get on video and express myself. Like that's I've got a gnat there.
Yeah.
I almost ate one earlier.
Yes, you did.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, what is that? The Mel Robbins with the 5-minute or?
Yeah. So,
put your hand on the mirror, right?
That's right. So Mel Robbins, little 5-minute every day, like high five yourself. And it's not even, it doesn't have to be 5 minutes, but it can be.
Yeah, maybe I'm missing the 5 minutes, mixing it up with the 5 minutes and the 5.
Yeah, so it's like five.
It's a high five.
It's a high five.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. It's a high five to yourself. It's like making eye contact with yourself and saying, "Okay, I can do this. I'm awesome." And I just never had that from a young age. I was always just like in survival. Like I was always fixing things. I I grew up in a way that I had a lot of responsibility,
Mm-hmm.
and I was the oldest of 3 kids, and I won't go into that too much because I think the real takeaway is that I hadn't really like stopped. I had never stopped and took a life, like a stock of my life. I had never stopped, taken a look at myself and said, okay, what do I want to be? I
Mm-hmm.
just kind of kept going. And I think a lot of people keep going, even if you
Yes.
have a foundation, like
On
you're
this
in it.
hamster wheel.
Hmm.
Yeah. But it's nice to step back and take a look
Yeah.
at
And
who you
so,
are and what you want out of life.
exactly. And that's one of the things I want to instill in my kids is that, like, you don't have to know where you're going. Like, that's really great if you have this vision for your future. And I feel like the intuition and your desire and what you like and what you're good at and development, like, that's all a part of like growing up. But if you can just stop for a moment and let whatever is be and really find a place of just peace, then, which is all the walking meditations and all the work I had done to like calm my nervous system down, and I got off all the pharmaceuticals. I was just like, you know what? And pharmaceuticals are great. Like, I love Western medicine for emergent care, and like, if you need to take medication, God bless you, take it, live your life, no judgment. But like, I was ready to really like dig into the root of my existence and like why I was here and what I really felt, and to be vulnerable. And personal branding is a whole lot of vulnerability and accountability. And when you start looking at yourself, especially when you're speaking to video and you're representing yourself and what you're good at or what you do, like, if you have shame, it will show up. Let me just be
Mm-hmm.
the one to tell you, like, standing in your power is extremely revealing. So, I went through this journey of just deciding to develop my personal brand so I could help more business owners. And in the process of doing that, I really discovered what had been holding me back, why I couldn't speak in public, why I never went to the chamber meetings, why I would shake when I would talk. Just like the amount of shame that I had carried for whatever reason was really showing up. And so I started filming myself over this past summer, because I was like, okay, Whitney, like, get it together. Okay. Like, if you want to help more people and you want to put together a marketing campaign for yourself, you're going to have to show up. And so what I did was I hired a coach, I hired my own advisor, because I wanted someone to really like direct me in a
Mm-hmm.
way that I couldn't direct myself. And that was a really great decision. And so I hired this social media personal branding coach. And I started filming myself, and I share on my personal social platforms, which is just Facebook and Instagram. But that was really, I think, another step, like a breakthrough moment where, okay, I faced the fear.
Mm-hmm.
I'm okay. Nothing happened. People that know me for real and have known me, family, friends, acquaintances, they're all supporting me and saying, you can do this. So I decided, like, why don't I share this? Because I know there are other women who really need to talk about what they do.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't have to. This is not a have to. This is, you can and you get to. I get to use this free platform to really put a megaphone on how I help people or what I do for others or what my business is like. And so I just realized, like, with my background in marketing and advertising, if it was hard for me, like, I know it's going to be hard for people. And so
Yeah.
anyway, I just, got this desire and passion to just share my personal branding journey while building this brand of consulting for small businesses. So here I am. This is, episode 1. This is another pivotal moment of me filming, like, how I got here, what the journey was like. And I'm just grateful. whatever happens is, is what it is. And
Yeah, I mean, you can't really coach someone until you've walked through it and done it on your own and experienced it yourself. And life is all about those little experiences. So I think that it's great that you said, you know what, I'm not going to just try to help someone do it. I'm going to do it myself and I'm going to experience that.
yeah.
And you'll know more after going through it, which
Yeah.
I'm sure you have learned from doing it yourself. And now
Yeah.
you can go forth and help the people.
Yes. And I think they call it like baptism by fire.
Trial by fire?
Trial by fire. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, like trial by fire, like exactly what you're saying. Like I put myself through it, and I put myself through it because I obviously understand the value from an advertising perspective, that like this is free advertising for me or for anyone else who wants to speak up. And there is a strategy that is necessary. There is a messaging and a tone and a voice, and you have to have creative, but I want to make that as simple as possible because I don't want it to run my life. And as you know, social media can be super invasive, and it's always in your hand. Like you always have access to your phone. And, if you're always on and thinking about it and you're pressuring yourself about it, it can kind of overwhelm you and take over your life. And I can attest to that. And I just, if I can save anybody anytime or
it's
energy,
daunting. It's very daunting. But it's nice to have a little structure and have somebody lead the way.
Yeah. Having a model. Like you surround yourself. What I've learned is that by surrounding myself with people who are where I want to be and who are a step or 5 steps ahead of me, that's only going to help me to get to that point. And I invested in myself. I recommend investing in yourself. Like whatever you want to learn or whatever you want to do, surround yourself with people that already do it. And tune all the other noise out, because I got lost a lot in the noise.
That's great advice.
Yeah, like just, you know what? Follow that one person. Like make it your own, get inspired, and just tune in. And shut all the shit down and shut it off.
Yeah.
And like just tune into yourself. And personal branding, I think although it's this crazy journey, at the end of the day, it's a tangible asset that you'll have and you can just build on. And it doesn't start awesome. Like it is this journey. Like once you start, consistency, like from what I know and what I've experienced and what I've researched over the last 18 months, is that consistency is really king. So even if you're on mute and people see your face and they know what you do, whenever they need you or they see your service or product, they're going to choose you because familiarity. I mean, it's psychology, it's like, what's the best form of advertising? Well, word of mouth. Well, how do you take word of mouth and like amplify it? Well, you just use social media.
You show up. You get in front of the people.
Right. Whether you're using television and you're paying thousands of dollars a month to put your message in front of your target audience because that's where they consume entertainment and programming, or you're guest speaking on a podcast because you're being interviewed by someone because your target audience is listening to podcasts and like you can use it for content. Like just the options are just so vast, and there's so much potential and opportunity in the marketing field today that I had to understand it for myself. And I'm really happy I did. And I cannot wait to help people who don't understand it and who have this like desire to be better and to utilize assets that they can utilize for free. Yes, it takes time or it takes money. Either you got to put in the time or you got to put in the money or you got to put in both. You decide, where are you at? What do you want? If it's not for you, don't fucking do it. Like, I'm not forcing you, but I'll tell you what, like, you can attest to this. It's a living, breathing advertisement for yourself and who you are and what you stand for. And people do business with people. I mean, look at the big corporations. Look what's going on with Kellogg's. Like, the people are saying, the moms are
They're
saying,
standing
like,
up. Yeah.
no, you're not going to do this, like, for your profits. No. And I think local business and small business owners have heart. And a lot of times corporations don't have heart. Not my, area of experience is I had some time in corporate. I'm good with not being there. It's for some people. It's not for me. Who knows what the future holds? But I think for me, like, helping people who are just doing God's work,
Mhm.
you're servicing a community. Like, you're employing people, real
Yeah.
people. You have an enterprise. Like, that I can get on board with. That I can put myself through the fire for. That I can learn and, like, become better and pass on my experience and knowledge and expertise to those who are willing and ready to learn from it. So, I mean, it's just like a natural next
Yeah.
step.
Yeah. It's totally your purpose. And I'm so happy that you went through the journey and now you're here.
Yeah, me too. It feels surreal, but thank God that I have you to support me through this.
Always and forever.
Yes. So, yeah, it's just it's just been a progression of sorts, and
I'm excited to see what you create and, what relationships you create, but also what you create within those relationships for those businesses. Like, it's endless.
it is.
So endless.
And that's like with my new offerings, the way that I'm structuring my services, some of the offerings that I have, the packages, so to speak, I'm giving people, business owners, the opportunity to really work with me on a short interim. So, like, you want a 30-day fast track, you want a 60-day fast track. Like, you just need someone to look over your shoulder and say, holy crap, you're missing this.
Mhm.
Or, hey, what about these ideas? Or, like, really just stepping in, auditing where you've been, taking stock of where you're at, and really seeing what assets you have to accomplish what you want for the future. Like, that really is so valuable. So I realized, I'm like, okay, I'm managing all these accounts. I'm managing these accounts and these clients, advertising and marketing, and I'm doing this long term. And, like, I have these long-term relationships. I mean, 10-year clients, 10-year relationships. And that's beautiful. And I love it. And for some business owners, they need that extra support because they're placing so much advertising that they need a company to actually manage the advertising campaigns and the creative production. And that's fun, and I can do that. But I also realized that, like, with the freelancers available in the world and, people, like, surrounding you that can help you, like, sometimes you just need some direction, like consultative, directive support for your marketing campaign. And that's what I want to offer. I want to give people the chance, come in, let me work with you. It can be short term, we can keep in touch, but, like, when you need more help, maybe you're planning your next annual campaign and you're like, I don't know about this. Like, I feel like I'm missing something. Well, if I don't know the answer, I will find out, because that's what you have to do.
Yeah. That's what you're there for.
That's what I'm there for. Right.
That
And I have
shoulder to lean
access.
on, and that person who can, yes, you have the resources so you can help in so many different ways. And back to that whole bird's eye view, I think a lot of people need that outside perspective.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that it's refreshing and it's helpful, and it can be just, invaluable to your level of success and your
Mhm.
return on your investment. If you're speaking to a room of people who will never be your clients and who will never do business with you, you're speaking in the wrong room, and somebody can say, hey, wait, talk in this room. Like, go over here. This is where your people are. And you put that same amount of effort and money into that endeavor, and all of a sudden things start working out. Like your advertising campaign is getting a return. That's the goal. So, having somebody have your back, that's really what it's about. So yeah, I'm excited. Thank you so much for listening. I know I've talked a lot.
I could listen to you all day.
Thank you. I could listen to you all day too. And I look forward to the next time we get together.
Yes, me too.
I am officially not calling this a podcast, but like if it turns into that, that's great. We're going to house it on YouTube and share it on social. So anyone who wants to watch the full episode, it'll be there.
Love it. A lot of good pieces of information in here as well. So
yeah. And I think, just showing up for it and seeing what happens.
Maybe we need to revisit some things in my business. I'm ready. I'm ready for some new things.
You ready?
Yeah.
Is Zach ready?
I don't know.
He just wants to brew beer.
Yeah.
And drink the beer.
Yeah.
And be a boss.
Yeah. He wants to do
he probably doesn't want to be a
manual
boss,
labor, actually. He's
right.
like, give me a wrench. And
Okay.
There's something broken. Let me fix it, which is great and wonderful. But this is not his lane. So that's okay.
No, it's
and
not. And that's
everybody's.
okay.
Yeah.
And you're here for that. And I just look forward to our next conversation about how your life is going. And I look forward to our next conversation to hear about how your life is going and how social media is treating you. And I can say that I know we can maybe share a little bit more about who you really are on social media, because I have checked out your platforms and I know what you're doing.
There's definitely room to grow.
There is room to share.
There's definitely room to grow.
You got to be comfortable with what you're sharing. And I think, having somebody kind of push you to live up to your wildest dreams, so to speak.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is good.
You can see the potentials there, and that's helpful.
Speaking
to have someone
of
be your cheerleader.
Right. Exactly. And speaking of potential, that's why I chose a diamond, a pink diamond for my logo, because I just feel like seeing the potential in people and business owners and business in general, that is what I live for. I'm a hopeless, optimistic type of person, and I am obsessed with solutions. And so, the diamond in the rough, having someone come in and say, oh my gosh, you may not be a gemstone of the highest quality yet, but I can see how we can get you there. And yes, it's going to take time, but it's going to take effort, and maybe it's going to take some money, but if you're ready to step into that, a little polish.
Let's polish that gemstone up, baby.
Let me jewel you down.
Yeah.
Jewel you up.
I love it.
Whatever. Yes. So that's
got to be the right cut, clarity, and a little polish, and bam, you're shining.
Right. And that just, that gets me going.
I love it.
In the morning, in the afternoon, and sometimes at night. Mostly not on the weekend, but yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone needs a break.
Everybody needs a break.
I'm hearing, I saw the sign that opened up my eyes.
Oh my God. Wait, you remember that story?
Well, that should be the song for this, is what I'm saying.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway,
do you remember? I was coming to meet you at Cafe.
Okay.
We were talking about God.
Was it?
We were talking about God on the phone.
Recently?
Yes. Oh my God. Okay. You'll have to remember the story in your messages. Okay. So, the show is officially kind of over, but here's a little sign.
Behind the scenes stuff.
This is this can be in the show too, but this is
Wasn't your phone recording some behind the scenes?
It was, but I just, not for audio, really, just for video.
Yeah.
For B-roll. But, so I'm driving to meet you at Cafe. You were going to the dermatologist or whatever. And we're talking about God at some point before we were meeting, and I'm driving, and I'm just, thinking to God. I'm like, God, I'd really like to be a messenger for something to carry to really reinforce the fact that I get these signs, because you were just saying I don't know if I get signs, I really never. You're I just want to be a good person. That's what you told me. You're
because I'm not a spiritual person as you are. So,
but no, you are. But you've hidden it. It's fine. We're gonna get it out. We're gonna bring it out in you. But no, I just feel yes, you're more 3D, right? Which is why you're really great at details, and I love that for you.
2D. I'm more 2D.
3.
Oh, what are you?
This is 3D.
Right, but then what are you if I'm 3D?
5D.
Oh, okay.
Woo-hoo.
Okay.
Woody woo. We'll talk about astrology and human design later.
Okay.
I'm a triple air sign. My sun and my moon are both in Libra, and my rising sign, my ascendant, is in Gemini. Gemini and Libra are both air signs. So I have a triple air sign. So that just means that, like, I need to walk on the grass.
Can you figure mine out and just text me that later?
Yes, I will. Yes, I will. And we'll discuss this later.
Okay.
Because it does play into like what works for you and like how you should respond to things and like how you take action. And it's just like really a reinforcement of like how you operate, your personality. Like there's a lot to it. And I've always loved astrology and just kind of obsessed with just personalities and psychology and whatnot. So yeah, I'm driving to come and meet you, and I'm like, God, please just, help me reach Cari with my signs. So I'm at the red light, literally about to take a left on West Esplanade, and I'm driving, and I'm done like asking God to help me reach you with a sign. And I'll pull up to Cafe, and they have a loudspeaker with music on, like you can hear in the parking lot. And I get out of my freaking car, and here's the song, I saw the sign.
I do remember that.
I'm like, okay, I literally just asked for a sign. Oh, no, it wasn't that. Okay, Jonah, backtrack. So I get out of my car with the loudspeaker. You just saying I saw the sign, which reminded me of the sign I got when I pulled up. And the song was, What If God Was One of Us?
That's what it was. Okay.
Which I haven't heard in like
a million years.
And so I get out of the car, park next to you in your new ride.
Right, because I was like, I didn't remember I saw the sign. But yeah, the other song now I remember.
Yes. And so it's like she's full blasting What If God Was One of Us? Another slob like one of us. A stranger on the bus.
Yeah.
Right. Trying to find his way home. And I'm like, okay, God, I hear you. I see you. I'm going to share this message. And so I tell you and you're like, oh, really? And I'm like, okay, I know, I'm sorry, but like I need to tell you. Let's close this with my last sign, which is this morning I was coming to meet you and I pulled out of my house and the first truck that I was behind, which I've never seen before to my knowledge, the license plate was 888. There was 888 in it. And I took a video of it, so I'll have proof of that. But, that just like full circle, right where I need to be.
I love that.
Surrender to the journey type of stuff. So thank you so much again.
Oh, yeah. Anytime.
Thank you, Jonah and Lettuce Media for facilitating this beautiful podcast or video series or whatever it ends up being, but just helping us tell our story and
having Jucifer here too.
Yeah,
Cheers
like
to
how
that.
does that happen? Did they run out and buy it before the podcast?
No,
I don't think
he
so.
He said that they have it here on the regular, and that sometimes they have Catahoula and sometimes House Mark. So I was like,
well,
I'm
the
in the
good
right
thing
place.
is that that's my favorite.
Yeah.
So yeah,
perfect.
So all of those things. So Cari, thank you so much for sitting down with me and being like this comfort zone and like this place of like openness and just organization and deliverance upon like what I sent you. Like you totally nailed it. And I'm so grateful that you could do this with me. And I'm going to hold you to it that we're going to do this again.
No, I would love to.
Yes.
I didn't know that I would love this, but it's great.
Thank God.
Maybe it's because it's you.
Do.
I don't know if I would just have this much fun with anybody else.
But I think you could do it though. Yeah. Yeah, totally.
Thank you for believing in me.
You're welcome. I'm here to believe in you. I love you. You're amazing. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to like interviewing more founders and really just digging in on the stories that are like real life and helping others maybe along the way. Because if you can't help people and be of service, like what are you here for?
Yeah, I'm so glad you found your calling. And I'm proud of you. And you're so beautiful inside and out. I love you.
Now I'm going to cry. And I can actually cry because it's over.
Yay!
Tears of joy. Yay. So yeah, we'll keep you posted. And that's a wrap.